So we have a definition of a graph family. It's called bipartite graph. A bipartite graph, यहाँ पे this is two words, bi, which means two, and partite comes from the partition, the word partition. It's a graph if the vertex set can be partitioned into two sets, x and y, such that all the edges in your graph go from one part to another. Okay, so there are no edges within x and there are no edges within y. All the edges either go from x to y, इस तरह करके है, okay, or they go from y to
So
x if it's a directed graph.
both of the edges both of the edges are independent.
um
Sets
both
and
of the
edges.
parts are independent. Okay, I haven't defined the term independent yet, but yeah, this is what it means, that both of these parts are independent. So let me give you an example. So for example, if you have a graph uh, like this, okay, uh, so let me call this thing x, this thing y. Okay, this is a bipartite graph. Since there are no edges here, okay, this sort of set is as said, it's an independent in the set कि यहाँ पे कोई edge नहीं है. इसी तरह y में भी कोई edge नहीं है. There are a lot of edges between x and y, and it's possible कि यहाँ पे भी बहुत कम है. I don't care, but it's possible that there are a lot of edges in here. This is a bipartite graph because I can partition the vertex set into two parts. Okay, and these two parts are um, uh, don't contain any edges in themselves. Okay, have a look at this graph, the C5 cycle on 5 vertices. Do you guys think this is bipartite graph or not?
No, sir.
It's not. Okay, let's go and see another graph. I believe you. Okay, let's look at C4. Is this a bipartite graph or not?
सर एक चीज क्वेश्चन है, ये जो एक्स और वाई आपने सेट्स बनाए हैं, एक्स के आपस के जो वर्टिसेस हैं उनमें कोई एज होना चाहिए या नहीं?
नहीं होना चाहिए.
सही.
नहीं होना चाहिए. So no edges here. Okay, no edges here. Okay, so what is this guy? Is this a bipartite graph or not?
नो सर.
It's not. Oh, it's a bipartite graph. It's a bipartite graph because I can do this, right? I can put these two vertices in x and the remaining two vertices in y. Okay, in दो vertices में there is no edge, in दो vertices में भी कोई edge नहीं है. Okay, so it's a bipartite graph.
यस सर.
Yeah. C4 is not a bipartite. C5 is not a bipartite graph. Similarly, K4 is also not a bipartite graph. Okay. This is not a bipartite graph. किसी ग्राफ के बारे में देखना हो कि वो बाइपार्टाइट है या नहीं, उसका आसान सा तरीका ये है कि यू स्टार्ट विद एन आर्बिट्रेरी वर्टेक्स. ओके, और उसको कोई कलर कर दो, just to tell you कि ये कौन से पार्ट में है. Okay, let me color them black to say that this is in x. Okay, अब इसके जो neighbors है ना, they cannot be in x because the vertices in x must not be connected by an edge, right? So these two vertices must be colored by, let's say, pink color. Okay, अब लेकिन in pink color vertices के जो neighbors हैं, they must be black. Okay, because they cannot be pink, right? So this is in y and this is in y. अब y का जो neighbor है, this must be an x. Okay, so I know that this guy is black and this guy is an x. अब ये जो नेबर है, ये x का नेबर है, तो ये y में होना चाहिए. अब ये y का भी नेबर है, तो ये x में होना चाहिए. Which means कि I have absolutely no idea कि इस vertex को मैं क्या करूं. Should I keep it pink or should I make it black? अब इस तरह की किसी conundrum पे अगर आप पहुंच जाएं, तो it implies that the graph you started with is not bipartite. Okay, If you are able to, for example, इस केस में अगर मैं start करूँ C4 के केस में, if I start with this vertex and make this guy pink, तो I know कि इसकी जो neighbors हैं वो मेरे पास होंगे black, तो I'm fine with that. और in black vertices के जो neighbors हैं they must be pink. तो there is this. इस तरह की अगर मैं coloring करने में कामयाब हो जाऊं तो I'm happy. It means that this graph is actually bipartite. ठीक है? So to tell whether a graph is bipartite or not is sort of easy. It's not that hard. Is it clear to everyone how to tell whether a graph is bipartite or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Awesome. Let's move on. A complete bipartite graph is a bipartite graph जिसके अंदर जितने possible edges हो सकते हैं वो सारे के सारे उसके अंदर हैं. So for example,
सर फिर ये जो सबसे एज पे है वो नहीं होगा?
sorry, I missed. Can you repeat?
सर वो जो ग्राफ आपने बनाया हुआ है जिसके बीच में एक्स है वो फिर नहीं होगा बाइपोलर?
This graph. Okay, let's
Yes.
try it. Let's try it. Let me start by coloring this vertex pink. Okay, let me call this a. Excuse me. So this is x. इसके जो neighbors हैं they must be y. Okay. But if they are y and they are black colored, तो उनके दरमियान में ये edge नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay. But I have an edge. So I have reached a point जहाँ पे मैं coloring नहीं कर सकता. So I want to color this guy black and this guy black as well. But I can't color both of them black because there's an edge between them. Okay. So it's not bipartite. All right. So a bipartite graph is complete agar everything in X is connected to everything in Y. Okay. And that means that everything in Y is also connected to everything in X. इस तरह के ग्राफ को we usually denote by K, M, N. What it means is that there are M nodes in set X and there are N vertices in set Y. Okay. So you may have a bipartite graph which is not complete. So let me make a graph which is not complete. So this graph, for example, this is a bipartite graph and it's not complete. Okay. Okay. Here is a question. You have a graph on, I think this is an interesting question, so pay attention. I'm giving you the information that I have a graph, G, and it's a bipartite graph. Okay. And I tell you the number of vertices in this graph, the total number of vertices in this graph is 20. Okay. And I ask you the question, how many edges? What's the maximum number of edges that this graph can have? What do you guys think?
तो पहले हम ये फिगर आउट करेंगे कि एक सेट में कितने वर्टिसेस मैक्स आ सकते हैं.
क्या ओके
ये फिगर आउट करेंगे कि एक x या y में कितने मैक्स वर्टिसेस आ सकते हैं, तो उसके बाद जो उसका कॉम्बिनेशन बनेगा वो आंसर होगा.
क्या ओके गो अहेड डू इट ट्राई इट.
$49.
49. I think not, but why?
Is it 100?
It is 100, but why?
So for the maximum number of sets, like each vertex must have an edge with another, so like n into n, and then we can divide by 4 for like the maximum number of vertices.
I'm not buying
I
that
don't know.
explanation. Why do you divide by 4? Why do you
Answer,
divide by 4? क्या बोले?
like what I'm trying to say is that if every edge has like vertex with an every vertex of the edge is connected like for every set, so we can multiply both the maximum numbers like n into n if number of vertices is n.
Okay, so
So
that's
for this
400.
case it was, yeah, it was
Sir,
400.
But why do you divide it by 4?
sir, 20 vertices every vertex would have 10 connections, sir.
Well, let me just complete the conversation with
20
her.
vertices,
If
10
Let me see if
means
she has an
200
explanation
and
for
half
why
vertices.
she's dividing it by 4. Do you have a reason for what dividing it by 4?
We
So I
have two
understand that
different
you
sets, so
multiplied. You said that everything is connected to everything. So I'm gonna say that 20
yeah,
times
and
20, and then you divide it by 4.
we have two sets, so like 2 into 2 makes 4, so we divide the maximum number of connections with 4.
What two sets?
Two different sets which are independent.
Okay.
This is
So the
the
thing is,
math number.
so maybe you are correct. Okay, maybe you're correct, but I'm not very.
Sir,
Yeah, Anas,
10
bolo.
would be 10 would be divided, x and 10 would be y. We will connect each x with every y. That would be 10 times 10, 100. And
Yeah.
100 connect and half, oh sorry, yes, 100 connections for x2 and 100 for y2x, 200 and half number of edges. 200 over 200.
Yeah. So the thing is, both of you guys are right. Sorry, what was your name? Anas से पहले कौन बोल रहा था?
Amen.
Iman.
Iman.
Okay.
Iman.
So
Iman.
Iman thi, okay. So Iman, the thing is, the answer is that you place 10 verses here and you place 10 verses here. In this way, every person is connected to 10 persons here, which means that there
So,
are 10
like
into
if
10
we
people, which
in
is
this case
100.
also we are just dividing the sets into two halves, right? So this is what I
Yeah,
did. I just divided the answer that I got with 4. Like 2 into
yeah.
2 makes 4, so I just divide.
या टोटली आई एग्री परफेक्ट ओके अब मेरा आप दोनों से और बाकी क्लास से ये क्वेश्चन है कि व्हाई डिड आई प्लेस 10 पीपल हियर एंड 10 हियर व्हाई डोंट आई डू दिस कि मैं यहाँ पे 5 कर लेता हूँ द साइज ऑफ दिस सेट इज 5 and then the size of this set is 15. Why don't I get a larger set of edges by doing this? Think about it for about 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, let me grab water. I'll be back in a minute.
So, because the largest number by taking one is n by p and 10.
Wait कर लो फिर क्या आने तक.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Sir, and the number of edges will be maximum when like the every vertex of a set will have an edge to every vertex of the other set. So like we needed a maximum number. So that is why we went for like the maximum division. That
We
was
need a
just it.
maximum product. The maximum product is by splitting number in half.
Yeah. So the thing is, let's say कि जी आपके पास एक graph है which contains the maximum number of edges. Okay. इसका एक set x, उसका size let's say k है. And then you have a set y और इसका set n minus k. I'm just telling you how to approach this problem, okay, in general. So this is what you know, okay? और जब ऐसा होगा तो you will have every vertex in x connected to every vertex in y, right? So the number of edges in this graph would be k times n minus k. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to maximize this number. Okay, you want to maximize this. You don't know what the value of k is. You know n, k is not known to you. So, so this gives you n times k minus k square. Just give me a second. All right. So this is calculus problem that you have a polynomial and you want to maximize the value of this polynomial for all possible values of k. Okay, all possible to nahi, you want k to be at least non-negative, right? What you do is you take a derivative, equate it to 0, and you find the maximum value that you get for k. You'll see that the maximum value for k is going to be n over 2 in this case. Okay, that they should place half of the vertices in here and half of the vertices in here to get the maximum number of edges in your graph. A slightly more what should I say, advanced problem is that if you have 3 sets, if I tell you that you have a graph G and it has 3 sets, A, B, and C, okay, and the total number of vertices is n, and there are no edges here, okay, this set is empty, this set is empty, this set is empty, and all the edges are in here, and in here, okay, and you want to maximize the number of edges. How many edges do you have at each of these places? The answer is going to be what you expect it to be, but the proof is the famous proof given by a guy called Turan, and it's called Turan's theorem. Okay, you guys should look it up. He proved it for a journal set. Okay, if you have m parts, let's say A1 through AM, and this is m-partite graph. Okay, there are no edges within each part. All the edges are going from one part to the other parts. And how do you maximize the number of edges? The answer is obvious, but the reason for the answer is, I think, interesting. Okay, so look up Turan's theorem, Turan. All right, but yeah, your answer is correct.